This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
It is the third and final day here this morning, getting started over in the dealer's room. We haven't really had a chance to get into the dealer's room to talk with many people yet to see how things are going. And one of the people who I often see, of course, at the conventions would be Don Bursell and his books at Don's Magic and Books. Hey there, Don.
How you doing, Scott? Good to see you.
Good seeing you then, too, my friend. So before I get into kind of some dealer items, we were talking about last evening's show. It was hosted by Scott Robinson and his wife Janet, and opened with Jon Armstrong. I don't know if you saw Jon. Jon did a great job.
I saw Jon's stuff. Yep. He does great stand-up stuff.
Yeah. You remember the others or any comments about the...
Well, I saw about three-quarters of the acts. Obviously, Scott Farquhar's Cups and Balls at the end just slayed me. It's the type of thing you don't even know if you should clap because you're just stunned. You know, it was great. I loved that.
Yeah.
Who else did I...
Danny Garcia?
Yeah, I only saw the beginning of Danny's.
Oh goodness! Yeah, I hope he lectures about some of that stuff. He said, "I got 20 minutes or less than 20 minutes and three things to do."
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I tried to jam it all in, and then the sound went out for about the first 6 minutes, and so what? Now I have 13 minutes to jam it in? But he's a pro, so he covers well. Those are the types of things I like, that just so outside the norm, outside the box. And
another kind of a thing that was kind of like an invisible deck that you think is where he's going. It's like, name a color, red or black and whatever, and then he's holding a piece of paper the whole time. I mean, it was wonderful. Great stuff.
It's great to see good magic.
It really is. And I thought last night's show was a very solid show.
Yes. Yep.
We had a good variety. I can't remember the young man's name who was on the skateboard. Did you know him?
I didn't know him, and I thought the little twist at the end with the skateboard, he says, I'm going to do this while on the skateboard. You're like, wow, whatever, and then literally the prediction is on the skateboard, It was creative. It was good. Yeah. I've never met him before. I didn't know who he was.
Jack somebody. I'm sure we'll come up with his name later here today.
He's going to listen to the podcast and go, oh, they forgot my name.
That's right.
Oh.
But it's one of those up-and-coming young guys who we haven't heard much of yet, but will, I think.
Sure. I think so, yeah.
And, had Jon and Danny and Jack, and mentioned Sean Farquhar.
Eric Jones.
And Eric Jones, yeah.
Eric's stuff he's as smooth as they come. And he's a nice guy, It's like some people that have the extensive chops, you meet him off stage and they can't carry a conversation. Eric is just an all-around, he's a super nice guy.
He really is, and I thought it was interesting in his lecture yesterday when he was saying that he is, an extroverted introvert?
Yes, yeah. I'd never heard that term, but it defines perfectly a lot of us magicians, I think.
Yeah.
On stage, we can explode and have this, but off stage, we just...
A little bit reserved.
We need to settle down and just get our quiet time.
Yeah,
it's a great thing.
So we got 9 dealers here, I understand, this year. And so tell me a little bit about the books. And you've got a big selection there, again, as usual. I like the way you have it alphabetized. You don't have the Dewey Decimal System here, apparently. So.
No, I know 793.8 or 79. Yeah, see, I don't even know that, I guess. Never mind.
You got the Bursell system here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
to me, it's all alphabetical by author. This has been a great convention for us. When I first started selling the books, this is the first convention I was a dealer at. Mm-hmm. And so it's always nice to be able to come back here and each year bring a little bit more and bring a little bit more. And we expanded our display by 4 crates, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And for me, it was really neat to turn my magic addiction, the books, into a business, because I've originally...
like Charlie Randall.
Well, originally, it was just to add to my library.
Yeah.
But now I buy a collection of maybe 500 books. I might keep 1 or 2 for myself.
Sure.
But I just skim through them and then realize, hey, this book has more value in somebody else's hands. So the knowledge continues on, and that's what I really like to do with my business here. It's primarily books. I do carry some magic. Like, I personally collect ESP cards and ESP decks. And so, I have some displays of those ESP decks and like talking about them and showing them. But my primary business is all books.
Now, like with H&R Magic Books, when they had a physical shop, they also bought collections, but they sold new and used. Now it seems like when they're like a Magic Live, it's mostly new books and things. So do you have new ones you complement your old ones with as well?
Yeah, I would say maybe 10% of what I carry is the new. Because a lot of people ask, hey, do you have that new book by Charlie Fry? Yeah. Or do you have the new book by... and I like to carry some of those, but I love the old books, that knowledge doesn't fade away. Because, if you look at this display here, there's more magic than 50 people could do in a lifetime containing these, just in the tar belt, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah, no, that's true. I was disappointed last night whenever that, I'd forgotten who it was, one of the magicians had a lady come up and, it was Sean Farquhar, because he was doing like his Sherlock Holmes book test thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then he said, do you like to read? And she said, no. She said, you're not a reader? She said, no.
Yeah, well, next trick. Have you seen the cups and balls? No.
Exactly. My point is, I would think that more people are going digital, certainly. And so are you seeing like...
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I think what I've seen is primarily the dynamic of who buys magic books.
The ages, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm 56, I think, and most people who buy magic books are my age or older. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are younger people that do, and I think they're very smart for doing it. Mm-hmm. But I think it is. It's the age of where you can heat up your food in 3 minutes instead of waiting on the stovetop. You can... I want to learn that trick right now. You get the download on your phone.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, you got the moves.
Yeah.
3 hours later, you're doing it for your friends. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm addicted to the books because you're physically holding it and smelling it and touching it, and you can go at your own speed. You can flick a page, or you can go back a page, and you can. Yeah.
Do you find that there is a particular author or a genre, of whether it's mentalism or card or stage or whatever, or an author like Tamariz or somebody, who is popular? It's like whenever you get them in, they go right out.
Like Charlie Fry's book moves really fast right now. But I mean, Charlie Fry was at Magic Live, so a lot of people got him there. But Juan Tamariz released stuff. The Nick Trost book, the number 9 of the Nick Trost series. Every time one of those is released, then all the other ones before there show a little bump too, because
they want to get the whole series.
Yeah, some people get introduced, through the latest one, and there's 6 more before this. That's
right.
Like ones that sell all the time. Anything by Paul Curry. Carol Fox is a general good seller all the time. Anything by Richard Kaufman, like Coin Magic, Card Magic. Like between Richard Kaufman, like Hermetic Press, and L&L, those books are just such quality.
You get in some from Mike Caveney occasionally?
I do. Like when he released Sawing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I got probably 5 or 6 copies from it, and then they were gone probably within 3 weeks and stuff. I just haven't reordered a whole lot more because I have a spouse to answer to that. In a nutshell, I have about 4,000 books, in items to my site. I have about another 2,000 still sitting in boxes. So she said, you know what? You could make a whole lot of money if you just get all that stuff listed instead of just keep buying more. So that's why I haven't bought from Caveney lately. I haven't bought a lot of the new stuff. I just have tons of the old stuff to get in there. And she's right, and I hate to admit that, but...
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's nice to have a partner. I mean, I know that Dick and Charlie together, one was always encouraging the other to do this or that, and that's what kind of moves your company forward.
Well, and for me too, I have Greg right here, Greg Phillips. If I need an idea on something, or hey, what do you think about this? Matter of fact, the actual logo, that was Greg's idea, because he said, the H&R is a very recognized thing, and since you bought their stock, you don't have to be H&R, but on magic and books. And it's like little things like that just... you got friends you can bounce ideas off of. Plus, Greg helps me at all the conventions, set up, keep everything straight.
Well, especially with books. I mean, it's a heavy thing.
Yes, it is.
I often wondered about Andy Greggett. I mean, it was just him, traveling from Phoenix all over the country,
And that's why when he's done at a convention, it takes him 8 to 9 hours to tear down and load out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have Greg, and I'll pay someone else here $25 to help me carry these things out, because I'd like to get it done in an hour if we could.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad this is a good convention for you, and look forward always to seeing you. What number convention is this for you? How many have you been to this year?
This is 6 or 7, I think. This is my last one for the year now.
By the way, why this one instead of Daytona Magic, which was the same weekend?
Just, I think because this was my first convention.
Oh, okay, yeah, like
you said. And Scott has, Scott Robinson has been real good, and he just, he literally asks other dealers, bring what you can, but Don's our primary book guy, so don't bring a lot of books. And if you look around our dealer room, there's a few books here and there, but he kind of, in a sense, gives me the exclusive on books. And I mean, I can't say no to that, because it's, and Scott thinks that through really well, and I don't know. It's a great convention, too. A lot of people just hanging out together. And
a lot of sessioning. It's a lot of fun. This is a great convention. Yeah. Well, Don, good luck on your drive back. I hope you don't have much to take.
Well,
got a few more left.
Look at my wall.
Well, we got all today to go also.
Yeah, but thanks again, Scott. Good seeing you again.
For the Magic Word Podcast, that was Don Bursell. Scotty out. still in the dealer's room and walking around, and there's been a friend I had seen since Thursday night, but haven't had a chance actually to sit down and chat with properly. And so I would introduce my my redneck magician buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
There he is, Jeff Case. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, Scott. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Always good to see you. Now, by the way, this is amazing. You're wearing a really nice jacket. You're saying it's made from a sweatsuit.
It's hilarious. No, it's funny because it's actually made from, they modeled it after what sweatsuits are made from. So there's a lot of stretch in it, and it keeps you warm, because it's been chilly down here the last few days. But it gives you that, you can have a little style, but, you're rednecking it. It's a sweatsuit. And no, my mom didn't make it.
I was about to say, was that handmade, or no, you actually bought that from somebody?
Yeah, from...
Okay. So they intentionally made this.
Yes, yeah. I'm not like these younger fellas, no. They wear these stovepipe pants, and, man, they're like, well, I don't know how they even walk. I'm scared some of these guys in the suits over. I'm like, if that guy sits down, his pants are going to split. And I'm not because he's heavy, because he's, yeah.
So you don't have any sweatpants to go with that jacket?
We're like the George Costanza from Seinfeld. If you start wearing sweatpants and a polo, you done gave up. That's it. So I'm a fancy almost gave up. I got a jacket.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ain't right, man. That's why I love it.
So do you do NASCAR?
This is going to blow people's minds. I grew up in Charlotte, and I've been living in Greensboro, which is in the middle of the state, for about 27 years. I can't stand it.
Really?
I can't stand
How about country music?
Oh, I love country music.
Okay,
yeah.
But halfway there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm married a Texan, so I had to like country music, and I had to learn the two-step.
Yeah,
and
get some boots.
That's right. No, a friend took me to a race. Gosh, I think I was like 22 something, and it was. He was, isn't this awesome? And I couldn't hear nothing. And I'm looking around. I'm looking around and see all these people who had earphones. No, I'm not using the right word.
Ear protectors.
Yeah, like nice ones. And I'm going, why is everybody wearing that? Let's get started. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Wow.
And tire stuff just flies up and hits you. And this was back in the day when people used to throw chicken bones from the top row and throw them at the fence.
I've never been to NASCAR.
Oh, right over here at the Charlotte Motor Speed, they stopped that, right? But back in the
chicken bones on the
they would
roadway? Or?
No, like during the race, if they got mad about something or whatever, they took their chicken bones and would throw them at the fence. So you had to.
Wow.
We rednecks, folks. Okay. I'm a Hey, the difference is I'm the regal redneck. I'm a classy redneck. Okay.
How do you differentiate?
I dress up. That's it. Yeah. I don't want to get off topic here, but here's something funny. Eric Jones, was talking about embracing himself, and I understand that a lot of people have a character that they perform as, and I get that. But my character is me. I'm actually the same guy you'll sit down and have.
Are you a bigger version of you, though?
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's a little bit more tweaked up and tuned up, and I twang up the Southern a little bit when I perform. But yeah, this was about 15 years ago. I was I do a lot of public speaking and everything, and I was thinking now about 20 years ago, maybe even 25 years ago, I was like, I'm going to take some voice lessons and do kind of like what Amar did. Like, I'm going to drop that Southern accent, because you know how people are. I don't mean like you that way, but
I know a guy who had a Cajun accent, and he couldn't drop it, so he ended up doing doves, so he could do a silent act. He said, I don't want people to hear me.
Well, you know what they say about Lance Burton, right? His early manager was like, Lance, don't talk. Don't say nothing. And the same thing with Rocco. Hey, Rocco, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
But, the thing was that I was concerned working for corporations and stuff is, unfortunately, sometimes, and I don't think it's as bad now, but when you open up and you have this sort of a Southern country type accent, they're like, oh, this guy's stupid. He probably lives in a trailer. And this is another weird, funny anecdotal story. When I was in Factors, and God, this was 2001 or 2002, you'll remember when that big faction from England came over. Jon Allen, Nick Einhorn,
John Archer.
Yeah, all these came. And we're introducing and talking to each other, and they love to hear me say stuff, and I'm telling them, well, I like to hear you say stuff, But it was funny because one of them was looking at me, and I'm like, what's up? He goes, I'm not trying to be funny, mate. He goes, you're like, you're not missing any teeth, and I'm like, I said, yeah, and I'm like, you're a British guy asking me about teeth? Yeah. What in the world, But it wasn't. I think it's because how they portray it when something like that happens. But anyway, my wife told me, she goes, no, honey, I think this is something that's endearing about you. Your personality and the way you deal with people and talk. It's kind of it's what's the word? It's not attractive. That's not the word. Yeah, she used to find me attractive, but it's endearing and it's warming, and they know you're just a down to earth fella, and that's who I am. So yeah, I
remember years ago when I was having my wedding band remade, and I was going to have it in as a nugget ring, like a shape of Texas. I was going to have a diamond, like where I lived in Midland and Dallas and Houston, different places. And I was talking with a buddy of mine, Charlie McFarland, and he did a lot of trade shows all over the world, really. Yeah. Plus, he was a pilot, for Continental, so he flew every place.
You got to be smart to be a pilot.
Yeah, but
I want the smartest guy in the cockpit to be. Yeah,
exactly. Not the second smartest.
That's right. Yeah.
But he was saying, as much as I travel, and he said people, particularly in the Northeast, will look down on you. If anybody sees you with the Texas ring, they put you in a different category. They do. It's kind of like, okay, we drop your IQ by, 100 or whatever.
Right. And I think
so. I changed. I ended up just getting a nugget, but I didn't look like Dallas. And I didn't like Texas.
Yeah, and I know we got sidetracked, but I hadn't seen you in forever and got to really talk to you. So, I don't think it's as bad now, but it's just a thing, and you sort of have to kind of work your way through it. But what I like that's great is I get to be myself, and but when I get introduced, I'll tell you another story some other day about. This is the shortest version I'll give you. I'm at a VFW. There's about 200 people there. I'm off in the wings, getting ready to get introduced, and I mean right before. But Bob just passed away. Gasp. Crying, and I'm standing off the wings going, oh my God. Tell that story some other time, but I'm thinking when that happened, right, that was like 20 years ago, I'm like, that'll never happen again.
Yeah.
Ever. And like 6 or 7 years after that, it happened again.
Wow.
So that's when I started handing people a little 3x5 index card, and I'm looking at them going, don't say anything but what's on this card.
Yeah.
And then I go, did anybody die? Do you have any weird announcements? Something happened? Don't say it, just this. Right.
Yeah. If somebody died, tell them after the show.
That's right. Wait till I'm gone.
Yeah.
And hopefully I won't die on stage, but
that's a good idea. That happened to Walter Blaney also one time.
Yeah, it's you have to, when we finish with this, you got to hear the funny story that happened to me and Mike. But anyway, so about the shows, I'm sorry.
I was going to talk about the shows at the convention, but there was something else. Didn't you say, or I hear that you were going to possibly be opening a magic venue? Because one of the lectures that they talked yesterday was Sean Farquhar talking about opening up his hidden wonders, and so you're thinking about maybe something.
Yeah, we have it's a little bit of a unique situation. There's an old farm that was started in the mid 1800s. And a family bought it. I don't know how many years ago, but it's a wedding venue. And a corporate event venue. Their bread and butter, of course, is weddings. But, I mean, everything is there. The gazebos, the everything you can think of there, because they just transformed this farm. But the house is still there, but they're all offices now.
Yeah.
But everything in it's real. So I'm doing a one-time-a-month show for them, which runs from April. Their season is April through October. But there's another place in Greensboro called Revolution Mill. That's the new name. And they purchased this, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. It's the old Cone Mill. And if you do research on Cone Mill, you'll find out everybody bought that particular one made flannel, but there was another one that made denim, and that was the denim that was used all over the world. Everybody, if you wanted denim in those days, they wanted to get it from Cone Mill.
So that's the place that was available.
Yeah, it's Revolution Mill. Yeah, so they
had to remodel the whole thing.
They've a lot of the original flooring is still there. Some of the steel beams they were able to keep, But right now there's.
So is it like a strip mall or something?
Oh, it's huge. No. I mean, you would think that. No, there's restaurants and bars.
So I'm saying. Okay, so there are different places within. Okay, I'm with you.
And there's doctor's offices. So there's probably, right now, I think there's 160, 207.
So they're already bringing people in.
Oh, yeah, this has been going. Yeah, there's 170 vendors, and there's like 200 and something luxury type apartments. And within 2 years, there's going to be a 125-room boutique hotel. And I love telling this joke because when the owner told me, he goes, we're getting ready to build a boutique hotel, I'm like, what the heck's a boutique hotel? He goes, it just means a hotel that's expensive and has. I'm like, okay, why don't you just say fancy? That would have helped me, But
so your place then is going to be then for stage, close-up, both?
It's going to be exclusively close-up and a little bit of parlor. We're doing 35 seats.
Maybe booking people like to come in, or is it going to feature you? I mean, like
that's
Sean
down the
has
road.
just him.
Yeah, well, and that's what this owner wants. I can't imagine that somebody wants to see Jeff that much. I'm like, oh my God, I can only take. Actually, if you're listening, if you're listening to this now, you're like, oh my God, let me turn this guy off. But and I get it. So yeah, we're going to use one of the rooms that's already there, and kind of like some of the churches do when they, instead of having a church building, they come up and set up all the time. Mm-hmm. So we've got a system that we're doing where we can break it down really quick, set it up really quick. Now the ultimate goal is moving towards something that would be more permanent, but it's going to be a little bit fluid.
Okay, to begin with.
Carpeting.
And when you're talking about spring, summer?
No, or before
25? Okay.
What's crazy is the first show was supposed to be October the 19th, and we kept talking. I'm like, I don't think we're going to make that. The show's ready. I think we're looking at doing the first one, which is going to be a learning experience for all of us, November the 16th, or maybe the...
What's it called? What's the venue called?
It's Revolution Mill. Yeah, we're working on a name for the place, right? But the show is a slightly crazy case of magic.
I like that. Yeah. Since your name is Case. Now tell me, as we start to wrap up over here, what about your, if people want to get in touch with you to stop by? In other words, if they're coming by to visit and they want to say, hey, I'm going to be like in Asheville or someplace, I might as well drop on down there.
Yeah, that is very, very kind of you. They can go to, it's not on their website and stuff yet because they don't want to do the advertising push till everything's ready. But you can get a hold of me, and my website is real easy. It's jeffcasemagic.com, JEFFCASE, the word magic.com. Yeah. Okay. And I'd love to talk. And you want to, you know what? If you got a problem going to sleep, just call me. And if about 5 minutes you'll be out, and I'll just hang up and I'll say, hey, thank you very much. So
thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Did you want to hear anything?
So I do. Just briefly about I talked with Don Bursell a little bit. Yeah. He didn't get to see all the show then last evening. What was your overall impression and what stuck out for you?
That was the first time we'd done it. I've been coming to TRICS forever. Actually, when it used to be in the room we're standing in, which is the dealer room, this was the old performing.
Oh, really?
This is where the convention was. Mm-hmm. So I think John Armstrong killed it. I absolutely enjoy his style. It's different than mine, but I like it. Of course, Sean was just absolutely amazing, and everybody loves Sean. And I thought it was a great show. It was interesting because they've never done one on a Friday night. Yeah. We usually have at least one, maybe two lecturers on a Friday night. Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of a change for all of us, but I think it was refreshing.
Yeah, I think so. And there were there were public seats that were sold. Yeah. They're going to do it again tonight.
Oh, and tonight, then the public is not used to us having a show on Friday night. So, I know the room was packed.
It's still packed.
Yeah. But I can tell you, tonight, it'll be full as a tick about to pop. And for all y'all that ain't a redneck, that just means look it up. I know. It'll be full as a tick about to pop, man. It's going to be packed because everybody's been coming to the Saturday show for years.
By the way, before we close, also, that speaking about jeffcasemagic.com on your website, are you selling, I know you got some ESP cards that are...
Did you
redneck?
see those?
I think didn't you mail those to me? I think you said you were going to.
Yes. Well, I waited we were finalizing the one that's the wavy lines. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's very kind of you, Scott. So they're going to be done in January. We're working on the back design. I'm gonna let y'all know it's a camo back, okay? And
it's camouflage for
that's right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. I forget who I'm talking to. But I've got those new poster cards that have a card reveal, and I've got a card stab that's coming out. It's called the Redneck Card Stab. It's pretty funny. I'll show it to you. Yeah. I just embraced who I am, and I don't overdo anything. It's just the way my tiny little brain works.
We should all.
I'm the mule amongst the thoroughbreds. I'm just happy to be in the race. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you.
For the Magic Word Podcast. That was Jeff Case, Scotty Allen.
Thank you, man. Super kind.
We've had a pretty full day, so much so that I've had a difficult time trying to pull away for a little bit to actually give you some updates on what all has been going on here today, and it has been fun and exciting. Part of things, of course, I'm pulling away and trying to get some people just to do some recordings for an episode that'll be upcoming, so boy, it's going to be good. My voice is kind of raspy because I've been talking so much to so many people, but right now I'm talking with Jon Allen from England. Hey, John.
Hey there. Nice to see you again.
And you as well, not only because you've traveled all the way here, but it's just, I like chatting with you, but I was so excited to see your lecture here again. Didn't you lecture at Fechter's once?
I have lectured at Fechter's, yes, but not for a good few years.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a hit.
And you got some new stuff.
I do. It's
always good.
Definitely some new stuff, but I enjoyed doing the lecture this morning.
You must have gotten a lot of good feedback.
Yes, I'm British, so I don't like to big myself up. But yes, I was very well received.
Yeah.
I think partly because the kind of lecture that I do, it's not just, here's some more tricks, here's some moves. It's about, this is what I do in the real world, and these are the little touches that make the big differences. And I think it's a kind of refreshing for conventions.
What would be one of the examples?
You got me. Just things like having a card chosen. Mm-hmm. I could spend 10 minutes talking about having a card chosen and having a card signed. Mm-hmm. And that people don't think, why would you do that in a lecture? But there's quite a bit of psychology and all that, and it's about engaging with people. So it's just things about how to engage with people rather than just the tricks. I mean, there's plenty of tricks in there for people to do. People love the thing I did with a napkin. Won't say too much, but the thing with the napkin and the child, which is great. So I've had feedback for that. So it's all doable stuff as well. There's no really heavy slides.
It's not heavy knuckle busting stuff.
No, I like magic that's sneaky, but it's sneaky but effective. So I've had some good feedback, and sales were good, and I think it's because it is a bit of refreshing. There's guys here just incredible, and they do incredible stuff.
Have you been staying up sessioning with some of these guys?
I have been sessioning a little bit. I was still trying to get over jet lag, and it wasn't working very much. But I love seeing all types of magic. I'm a magic nut. It's just the type of magic that I do is not all the sleights, and there's a lot of bad angles with some of this good stuff.
There were some good things that you were talking about. Well, I enjoyed what you just said about the engaging with the audience. That was something that Kayla Drescher talked about then yesterday when she was talking about engaging with the camera, and about how that when you turn away from the camera, the audience is going to look where you're looking.
And
then, of course,
Zabrecky as well.
Yes.
That's the level of lecture they have here. We have, I won't mention me, but we have, we have Danny Garcia, Rob Zabrecky, we had Sean Farquhar, so it's a damn good.
But they put you on the same day with everybody else, which shows that you are on the same level of all these other people. Don't count yourself short. I thought it was a really good lecture, and as you said, it did go well. You don't have to speak for yourself. I mean, I could certainly say that it was one of the highlights. It was very good, very well done. I'm not surprised that there was a feeding frenzy around your table to kind of get rid of everything. I know that you sold out of a lot of stuff then too.
Yes, I did. Which basically means I didn't bring enough. But, I mean, selling stuff is nice. But for me, yes, I want to sell stuff, obviously, because I've flown over. But it's just giving advice to people. I've always said if you just learn more tricks, you're at the same level you were before you came into my lecture.
That's really true.
But if you can take away some other things and apply them, that's great. I think it provides variety for the attendees. So, Sean's lecture was different to mine in tone, which was different to Danny Garcia's and Rob Zabrecky. And he did one trick, was it? He described? No, two tricks.
That's true.
Two tricks.
And the same thing with Kayla Drescher. She just described the bottle cap trick, and that was it.
And that was it. But there's a lot of information. Yes. And so you do want lectures for the magic. We all love seeing tricks and methods and go, oh, that's really clever. Yeah. But you can't have every lecture like that. So there's
you were given an hour and a half, weren't you?
I asked for an hour and a half, and unfortunately I did lose the arm wrestle with Scott. So I had to do an hour, which is really difficult. Really difficult.
I guess was it Sean that got the hour and a half? So I thought somebody got an hour and a half.
I don't.
It wasn't you, that's right.
I don't know, but maybe I can do the second half later. I'll see.
Well, as I said, it was something that included not just tricks, but also good advice. And I think that the takeaway from this convention I would say the theme would be to engage with the audience. Everybody seemed to be talking about that kind of a thing and the importance of not just doing magic for a big group, but to actually focus in on a person sitting there and do something for them, then move to the next person, kind of, even if you're doing a 1,000-seat audience.
Absolutely. And I said it is a theme running through. And, I had a DVD set, and I wanted to, when you think about what shall I call something, and I ended up with the word connection. Mm-hmm. Because that's what magic allows you to do. It makes a connection with people. You don't want people just to sit there and watch you do clever stuff. Mm-hmm. You want to connect with them on whatever level is right for you.
Right. And from here, you're going to, by the way, go to San Francisco. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm going against the time zones because the clocks are going back on Sunday, and then I'm going back 3 hours to San Francisco to do a lecture. Then I'm down at the PCAM. And then I finish off doing a week at the Magic Castle, so I'm looking forward to it.
So the things that you have sold out of here, I assume, will be sent from the UK to there?
Well, I sent another box over there as well,
okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what.
So in other words, people who are listening then right now are thinking, "Oh man, he's already run out of this stuff." No, he'll have some more.
I'll have some more. Absolutely, I will have some more stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just say that of all the lectures, there was something at your lecture was the only thing that I purchased from anybody, or even in the dealer's room. That's the only thing I bought all week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just to show everybody about how good this lecture is, if you get a chance to hear him, or if you are going to be attending the PCAM, make sure that you do go see Jon Allen's lecture then, too. So, very good. And be sure and tell him that you heard him here on the Magic Word Podcast. Thanks very much, Jon.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
So, for the Magic Word, that was Jon Allen. Scotty out. One of the other performers / lecturers and that was featured here at the convention is my friend from Houston, Texas, and one who you have seen all around, or at least have read his name in the credits of great television magic shows you've seen. Here he is. Doesn't need any introduction other than that. Danny Garcia. Hey, Danny.
What's up, dude? How's it going, man?
Fantastic. You were well received. You had a great lecture. I thought it looked like a feeding frenzy,
right on,
at your table afterwards and everything. And then your show last night was just off the hook. What'd you have, like 3 tricks in 15 minutes or something?
Yeah. It was kind of rapid fire, man.
It was.
Especially with how crazy I am. So
I thought that some of those things might be something that you were going to be discussing today. In fact, I talked to many people who said, man, I hope he tips that stuff today. It's like, no, he didn't everything.
No, I didn't tip any of it, actually.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But some of this stuff will be coming up in the future.
Yes, yeah. I think the first 2 effects that I did a thing with a frosted envelope where you kind of see a card inside of it, and then whatever card they name, that's the one's in there with like no weird funny movements.
Right.
As I guess you could attest here. Did it look weird to you? Was
no,
there any kind
it looked very natural. Amazing. That was why everybody kept talking about it. So, there was no switching. There was nothing funny about it. I mean, he had that out in view the whole time to our memory.
Perfect. Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
So that'll be the first thing that kind of comes out, and then the card to wallet. The second thing was the card to wallet, and so
that card to wallet killed me.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. And that'll probably be towards the end of the year next year. So yeah. So, but as far as the last thing, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Are some of those ideas things that you give David Blaine or other people? I say give, obviously you're consulting for money, but when you share ideas, do you let him do them first and then you later put them in your show, or vice versa?
No, so I have things for me like that. I just I want this to be mine. Like this is something that I want to work on for me, and so in both of those were both very very much.
That's not something he will ever do.
No, and not
show.
He's seen them, but also they're really not his style. If you think about them, they're not really his. Mm-hmm. David's not going to carry a little frosted envelope around.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
And the card to wallet is a little. I don't want to say too much about it, but like the surprise doesn't really fit him too much. It's I think it's a little more goofy, I guess.
Yeah, I understand.
Kind of goofy. So,
but it fits you perfect.
Yeah, it fits me. It fits my style. It fits everything. So
you're frenetic. I mean, your style is very energetic and frenetic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, spaz is how I call it. It drains you, man. And I got to take a nap after that show.
How have you enjoyed TRICS?
It's amazing, dude. It's so awesome. These people here, everybody here's so great. They're so awesome. Like, it's like a super. I think we were talking about it yesterday, man. I was like, this and a Pebble. To me, I love both. Like, they're very hang out and magic, like jam.
Very
The
intimate.
people are incredible. The shows are awesome. Like, I'm having an awesome time. It's great.
Have you gotten any sleep? You're going to get that later.
No, like I've been exhausted, man. Like I think we were out here till 5 a.m. jamming last night.
Yeah.
And so tonight's the night, and I got an early flight, so I think tonight's the night to get a little snooze, and then the plane.
Yeah.
I'm plane narcoleptic, so
You're kind of finished for the time being. I mean, after your lecture, you're done. I mean, because they got some other people on since you were last night.
yeah, man. Yeah. I'm done. I can just hang out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So it's really kind of chill. Well, I thought it was great. Good lecture, good show, and I'm sure you've gotten a lot of good reaction from everybody else, that's here at the convention as well.
Thank you so much, bro. Yeah.
Always good to see you, and good luck with the future and everything else you're working on.
Always great to see you, bro. Awesome.
One quick question I'm sure that everybody's going to ask. How come he didn't ask that question? So what's the next thing or special that David Blaine's going to be doing? When's it come out?
Oh, man.
That's your answer. There we go. But I asked it. Okay. That was Danny Garcia. Scotty out. Another one of the performers / lecturers who was another highlight. There have not been any lowlights. This is just, I say lowlights. It's been a consistently top-notch convention with great performers. And I've got one with me right now, John Armstrong. Hey, John.
Hey, Scotto. How's it going, buddy?
Fantastic. Awful good to see you. Are you going to be going to any Comic-Con sometime soon? Before the year's out?
Not before the year's out, but definitely next year. I do all the normals ones I normally do, Comic-Con, Dragon Con, all that. I do a show at Dragon Con, which is pretty fun.
You do?
Yeah. I do my act.
You do the cruise ship act? Or?
I do my show, which is not necessarily just the cruise ship act, but I do it at Dragon Con. And there I usually add a lot of references to pop culture stuff, and it's a lot of fun, yeah.
Because you got to have different things for different audiences, I would think. I mean,
absolutely.
Like the audience in the castle is going to be different from a college audience, from you were saying on
corporate,
Disney,
yeah.
You might have 3-year-olds in your audience, So.
Absolutely, yeah. There I have to definitely work for the entire age span. That's different than when we're at a corporate event where everyone's definitely, way older and, more tired after a long days of events. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Where you're trying to, do you try to keep people awake and interested at the end of a long?
I think aren't we all trying to keep people awake? I mean, if your goal is to put people to sleep with your magic, then maybe something's wrong. Yeah, that's an interesting. Yes, I'm definitely trying to keep them awake at the bare minimum. The bare minimum.
Has that been worked out for you pretty well?
So far, they have stayed awake. I can't say the majority has stayed awake. I'm sure there's some stragglers.
You hear a couple of snores in the background.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
not much you can do for that. I just recently finished a show at a retirement community, and I did okay. I think everybody stayed awake.
What's really great about doing tossed out deck at a retirement community? They just want to sit down anyway.
That's right. It's like when you sit down. Okay, got it.
They just want to sit down anyway. Anyway, that's my joke. All right, go on, please.
So it's like working in an Alzheimer's clinic. I did that once before, and when they asked me, I said somewhat jokingly, "Do I do the same trick over and over?" And of course, they said no. That it's really more for the families and the nurses and the staff because they were really worn out and they need to be entertained.
Sure.
So this convention, have you attended TRICS in the past?
Yeah, 10 years ago, I think, as a performer lecturer. Yeah, and then this is the second time I decided to dedicate my life to stand-up magic, which is interesting. And it's been fun. This is an amazing convention full of amazing people who are super attentive, super really interested in magic. They're all hanging out, they're jamming. It's just really great. It's just a great group, and I'm super honored to be here.
I was saying earlier, I think this could very easily be the next 4F convention that could eventually turn into an invitation only because there's only so much room here for people to come in, which was the restriction they had at Fector's. But not only that, you have a lot of young people who are coming, and they're sessioning all night long the way that we used to really a lot at Fector's. But now as everyone got older, everyone's going to bed earlier, just like we were saying,
Sure.
But so you don't have people hanging out as much as before. But here you do. I mean, it's an exciting buzz. I mean, listen to that right now.
I was up till 3 a.m. last night.
Yeah.
And it's great because, half the time I'm talking about, detailed minutia of scripting for the cruise ship show.
Yeah.
Some of the time I'm doing card tricks and just bannering stuff back and forth. It's been a great mix of, people who want to, talk about philosophy, talk about business, talk about
Yeah,
tricks.
yeah.
It's been really great, yeah.
I thought that was interesting also in your lecture and talking about your journey. In fact, you got a book just on that, on
Yes.
your journey. So
How to Win.
Tell about that a little
Oh,
bit.
sure. I'm happy to plug my book. My book is called How to Win. It is a routines and essays and routines for the stand-up magician, and it's basically it's in 3 parts. First part is a general sets of essays about my journey going from close-up magic as a primary focus of my time in magic to stand-up magic being my primary focus. Second part is about these 5 things that I've discovered that if you apply that as a view lens for you to watch your own shows, is ways to improve your shows to make them more engaging, more important, and more in the now, so people actually respond better to you. And then the third part is just is 4 really great tricks that hopefully support the things that I'm talking about in the earlier parts of the book. So
Yeah, that's a nice synopsis of the outline, I guess, of the book.
it is exactly the outline.
And where can people go to find that, by the way?
You go to my website, cardjon.com. Big link. It says buy John's book, and then go there, and it's good. It's people seem to really like it. I had people buy it who I was very surprised would want to buy it because they're big names, yeah. And Levent just gave me an amazing quote about it, saying that like I made an amazing blueprint for people to go down for this road. And Ian Kimball, who is also a big proponent about going from close up to stand up, and Brent Braun said this book will save you 2 years at the minimum. So like it's great. I'm having a lot of I thought it was something that needed to be in the marketplace. I was actually coming up with something that is not just there. It's not just a book of tricks. It's something that's not been talked about, and hopefully people get something out of it.
I was just talking with a young man who is just on the cusp right now, and this is the direction and journey he wants to take. And he said, you hit him at the right time and you got the right book. And he was like first in line, I think, to go over and get that. Michael, it's Michael.
Oh, yeah, Michael, sure, yeah, it's great.
So good stuff, and you're really helping magic, everything that you're doing. And
I'm trying, man. I mean, I'm also making money. I'm not doing this through the humble. I'm not. Oh, thank you so much. I wanted to write something that was important to me, and also, put this out there, make a legacy. But at the same time, of course, it helps buy the baby more clothes. So
more for Maddie.
All for Maddie.
But the fact that you have started out, I guess you'd say starting out as a close-up magician, having won close-up magician to the Academy of Magical Arts, and other kinds of things that you have accomplished as a close-up magician, to kind of put that behind and then go into, as you said, parlor is different than stand-up.
Sure.
Well,
parlor is a form of stand-up. Stand-up is the umbrella. Parlor is stand-up when it errs towards close-up, where it's less about being on a stage, a large group, having to have lights and sounds and things like that. That is platform magic. Platform magic is when you are more erring towards stage, where it's about you're going to have to need amplification, you're going to need lights, you're going to need most likely a raised stage, so on and so forth. Yeah.
I like the fact that you have identified, okay, this is what I've done and I was known for, but I'm not afraid of going forward because I think I'm going to be successful and I'll be known for this new area, which you are, have become known and becoming more well known as you're starting to do that. As you say, I think it's important to kind of address the elephant in the room of saying, okay, you guys thought I was a plunger guy, really now I'm a tie guy or something.
Well, yeah, it's fun because I come out and I go right into the first routine, which is 100% a stand-up magic routine. It's a ring routine type with my tie, and then the first thing I was going to say is, who here expected me to come out doing card tricks with a small plumbing device? And everyone's like, yeah. And so it's nice to see shock them into wait a minute, what's he doing now? And I like to think of it as a lot of great artists reinvent themselves, and that's just this is on the reinvention train that I've been on for a while.
And you've done it. You are moving in the right direction, and I'm happy for your success and wish you nothing but the best for the continued future.
Thanks, man.
I guess we're going to continue to see each other at cold conventions. Last time we were at Winter Carnival.
It was awesome. We went to that diner.
That's right. That's right.
I'm always happy to hang out with you, Scott. It's great.
It's fun. Show the Magic Word Podcast. That was John Armstrong. Scotty out.
Welcome to Shazam, the podcast that... No, sorry,
wait a minute. Wrong podcast.
Darn. All right, we'll get there eventually.
Saturday night public show is over, and that was Kayla Drescher. Hey, Kayla.
Hey.
And Jon Allen.
Hi.
Blake Vogt.
Hello.
And Zabrecky.
Au revoir.
So, the show was over. Did you guys have a great experience? Was it a lot of fun? Have you guys worked together before? Or
No,
they can't see you shaking your
we're never
head.
working with each other again. This is it. No.
Have you worked individually with each other, two of you, or that two of
I
you?
don't think- I've actually never met these three people
Until
I really
tonight.
hope that's right.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's the first time we met, but
I'm familiar with everyone else's acts and material, but I've never been on the same show as the other three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
How did you feel?
Really happy that I went first so that then I could watch everybody. That was awesome.
I know when I talked with you earlier, then John, you were saying it's just I was getting a little bit nervous about the show.
yeah, it's just wanted to do a really good job because you've got your peers in the audience here, but you've also got the public, and we want them to go away going, you know what, Magic's that's really good. You know? So
And I think every one of you proved that, particularly Kayla when you did the great thing that had full Penn and Teller, with Stump, one of the volunteers, on the card trick.
That full Penn and Teller?
Yeah, David Casero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I do on Full?
No, it was
yes,
David Casero.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did Corsaro's All About You, which is like a go-to of mine,
Right.
and it's just a brilliant routine because it's all about them, but also you get to have some fun byplay and personality and get to know people, and
Right.
it just ends up being a really great interactive piece. So yeah, I mean, understandably at Full Penn and Teller because it's brilliant.
Now, this is just part, Zabrecky, of your show as far as like a microcosm of everything that you have kind of done. Isn't that right? Or?
Yeah, I've been doing longer shows at a theater in Chicago called the Rhapsody Theater. It's a 75-minute show, so doing 20 or whatever I ended up doing tonight, 22, 23, was challenging.
I was going to say, is that harder or easier?
It used to be the goal of my life to have 20 minutes, and then that was a big thing to accomplish, and I did that. And then now doing 20 minutes is still hard.
Yeah.
Now it's come to the point where it's hard now in a different way because you want to perform all your little babies, your little gems, right?
And how long are you going to be at the Rhapsody?
I just finished a run there.
So nobody can see you then?
They can't see me, but they can see Kayla is starting a run soon. And then maybe next year, maybe Blake Vogt will be there. Who knows?
Yep. Blake, are you... Is it possible?
I'm so down.
It's possible.
and the year after that,
We'll have John.
Maybe John will come. Okay, in the meantime, Kayla, get the visa. I'm trying to help you, man. And Kayla, I know you've been working at the Chicago Magic Lounge, but I didn't know about Rhapsody, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so I've been at the Chicago Magic Lounge for the last year doing, we moved there a year ago, and so I've been doing the bar twice
and
a
Jeff?
week. And who's Jeff?
Bibick? Sorry. Bibick, of course.
Jeff and I did not move to Chicago together.
No, he was already there.
Yes, he was already there, just to be very clear. Bibick is one of the best bar magicians ever, and I get to watch him once a week at the bar, just absolutely make a killing, and it's amazing. And then, I'll be doing a run at the Rhapsody mid-January to mid-February. So I'm really excited about doing that. It's exciting.
Has Carissa been there or
At the Rhapsody?
At the Rhapsody?
Yes, she was actually the first performer to do a run at the Rhapsody. So she did it. She was the opening show.
And David Parr, was he working there as well? Is that
I don't
who all else is working?
I haven't
David
met
Parr
her.
no, he has not worked the Rhapsody. No, I don't think so.
Because I know he was in Chicago and doing
I think
something.
at the Chicago Magic Lounge, I think he had a residency there of some sort.
Right.
I think that's what you might be thinking.
And that's
about.
separate. That's what I was thinking about. So
There are two separate theaters. There's no affiliation. Other than Chicago's a great town for magic. How far away are they from each other? 20, 30 minutes in a car?
so it's kind of the neighborhood-ish.
It's like, I always say it's Pasadena versus Hollywood.
Okay.
The Chicago Magic Lounge is on foot, and it's an area called Andersonville where you can kind of just wander in and buy a ticket, and it's great. But Rogers Park is a little bit of a destination to get to. It's a beautiful 200-seat theater, so it's amazing. Cool. Great tech, a big old stage, big curtain. There's an apron. Great tech, great staff. It's a really pleasurable place to work.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Blake, you got some things working on right now, I guess. You're consulting with some people, or what are you getting ready to do next?
Always consulting. I've got a run in 2 weeks coming up at Keller's in Pennsylvania. So if any listeners in Pennsylvania,
in Philly or whereabouts? In Pittsburgh?
In
or?
Pennsylvania. I forget
it's a big
where.
state,
It's at the theater called Keller's.
Look it up.
Haven't been there yet, but it looks awesome.
And John, I know you're going to be, we were just talking earlier about that, you're heading to San Francisco, and then you're going to be at PCAM coming up.
Yeah, PCAM, another convention, but more exciting than that, if possible. I'm doing a week at the castle, which I haven't been back to.
It is fun.
Back to for like 8 years. So I'm in the parlor.
Okay.
In the parlor. I'm so looking forward to that. Just the best place on earth. Unless somewhere else wants to book me, in which case.
They should be listening to this as well.
Yeah.
And Kayla, you're going to be staying in Chicago for quite a while, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have no plans to move now that you're there. You're kind of.
Please no. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we packed.
You don't have
up
any plans
enough.
to go with like a Champions of Magic back on tour or anything?
No, I'm trying to stay more home. I mean, not that I am right now because I'm gone pretty much every week between now and January, but which is awesome. But no rejoining of tours anytime soon, unless of course someone wants to book me, and then we'll talk. But
one other quick question then as well is: should Zam become obsolete then yet or not?
Oh, of course not. No,
I didn't think so. I'm doggone it.
No, we're working on it slowly. Season 5 is being recorded right now, so fingers crossed for a speedy release.
Thank you guys very much. I'm not going to keep you any longer. It was a great show, a lot of fun. You could tell by the audience reaction, the standing ovation. Thank you, Zabrecky. Thank you, Blake Vogt. Thank you, Jon Allen, and also Kayla Drescher. Thank you guys very much. Fantastic, great,
Thanks a lot.
Good show. So this is Magic Word. Scotty out. Well, the convention is over, the party is over, and now is the cleanup of all the confetti and all the chairs and
We don't
everything.
usually have this here.
This was the year of confetti.
This was the messiest
Seems like
tricks ever.
every other person had something they were cutting up or
Yeah.
tossing on the floor or
Yeah.
throwing away. By the way, I'm with Scott Robinson and his lovely wife, Jan. You guys did a wonderful job both evenings. I thought of kind of playing back and forth and being our masters and misters of
I hope
ceremony.
you like
Hosts.
Our host. Yeah.
Thank you.
Since you're the host of the whole party, this whole convention weekend, it was great to see you kind of up there then as well. Great choices as far as the entertainment. The talent was great.
I booked them, so I agree.
I congratulate you.
All of them were fantastic.
It was really an amazing
Really
year.
good, yeah.
It really was an amazing
It's going to
year.
be hard to beat.
It is going to be hard to beat.
Yep.
So maybe this should be the last tricks. Nah.
We have a couple more in us.
I know sometimes that there are some bumps in which that
There
someone
were
has-
bumps.
Okay,
There
like some
definitely
people
were
that
bumps.
couldn't come at the last minute or whatever.
Yeah,
Anything
well,
happened this year?
Most of the bumps. So I consider my job is to make sure that when the bumps happen, you guys never know. So did you notice any bumps?
No, that's why I said it was just like a swan going across the pond. You know, there was just beautiful.
We had a couple little small tech issues. We corrected them the next show, and my team's so great, right? Because they get together. We get together after every night and go over what worked, what didn't.
Each
Yeah,
night.
absolutely.
So not like after the convention, but every
Oh
night.
no,
That's
every
a good
night.
idea. Actually.
And we meet right before the first event. We meet for an hour and go through everybody's responsibilities and make sure they don't forget what our philosophy is.
And we have dinner together Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have 2 people dancing, if you can call it that.
Oh man, I should have the video going right now to record this.
That's the Zabrecky shuffle.
Yeah.
So much like on Seinfeld.
We need to tell them
that,
what's going on. It's Tiffany Allen and
Kayla Drescher.
doing the
And Santa
doing the
Claus.
Zabrecky.
And I see
Santa was,
I see Tiffany is tearing up a photo of Boris, which is
Yeah,
good since he
Boris
wasn't here.
Wild.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's fantastic.
Because Boris is a traitor.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Yeah.
Used to like him.
Yeah.
But such a fun convention and a good job. Congratulations to you. And
So
all
what
the
was your
team.
favorite part?
Well, I was going to say, by the way, that as far as what you guys do before the convention, and then you said each evening, I am going to suggest that other convention organizers do the same thing if they don't already. I don't know. I know at the TALN we don't do that. I mean, it usually is after the convention's over, like maybe a few days or a week after that, after it's kind of settled down to decide. But I think that if you address the issues each day immediately, I love that idea. I think people should consider that.
Yeah, it's we've always done it. It's part of the Slight Club philosophy. I think one of the most important things is for a convention to understand what their purpose is, and all conventions aren't the same, right? But we have something very specific, and one of the things that's most important to me is that everyone that comes, newcomers, feel like they're part of it immediately, right? So we have certain things we do to make sure that happens. So, and we go over that, and she'll tell you, I drill it into the guys. This is the most important thing is treat everyone here like your family.
And we do feel that way, certainly. I think, again, this will eventually, and probably sooner than later, become an invitation only because there's just not room for everybody, and people are going to find out they're missing the boat if they don't come to this convention.
So what'd you like?
It's pretty special.
What'd you like, Jay? Besides me.
I liked everybody. I liked that it was the year of Billy Hake. because we miss him a lot. But I'm
I
thankful
posted that video last year. I had a link to that.
So let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm thankful that we were able to remember him and
Explain that what's going on.
So
there.
Billy was one of my oldest Magic friends and was very close to my family.
Yeah.
And he passed away about a month ago, very unexpectedly.
it was a slight club.
Yeah. And last year we had done a video of him telling one of the famous stories that he tells, the boxing monkey. And we put together a special deck of cards for him and
had
a pen.
a lapel pin.
Yeah, and we miss him a lot. Yeah, it wasn't the same having.
He wasn't the guy who said, "What's in my drawers?"
that was Max.
Okay,
No,
they didn't have that this year.
No,
Okay.
no, we have to. This year, Scott made a huge mistake, which turned out to be great for a convention.
Mm-hmm.
I overbooked it. I booked way more talent than we normally do.
Which why had two.
That's why we had two public shows, and both public shows were really good and really different. Yeah, I mean, we closed with Sean Farquhar one night, and we closed with Rob Zabrecky the second night.
Yeah.
Pretty diverse shows, and yeah, I'm very happy with it.
They were, and I think actually the lectures as well were all diverse. But you were asking me, what was my favorite? I really have to say that Rob is. Rob Zabrecky is someone that I don't see often enough.
Yeah.
I've just got kind of a quirky little thing. I like quirkiness, and
He's very unique. There's no one else like him.
Nobody can.
Yeah.
And I brought him here because I love his work.
And
right?
He's theatrical.
And most people wouldn't, the type of magic I do and known for, they wouldn't. But I love him, and I knew the audience would go, what is Scott thinking?
And that's what I like watching the audience.
Yeah.
I almost enjoy watching the audience as much as I like watching him.
Yeah. But I knew they would be going, like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden you realize you're seeing an artist.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, I thought it was just fantastic. So.
It's not just magic. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like
it
it's
is.
just
The character
whole thing.
is
Yeah.
so
theater.
well defined.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
He knows who he is and just embraces it and rolls
That's
with
true.
it. Yeah.
Start to finish.
And one of my favorite things was that someone who never performs decided he wants to perform again, and that's Danny Garcia. And he performed last night and did 3 tricks that literally people were fried magicians. Yep. Yeah, they were inexplainable until we explained. but they were just fantastic, and he was fantastic. Just the whole weekend was. I can't even. We had so many people. Jon Allen was great, and John Armstrong was great, and I'm going to forget somebody. And Kayla was great.
What I love most about this year's lineup is that all of them were so welcoming and embracing, like, for everyone, and took time. I saw them taking time with everyone, anyone who wanted to sit and chat with them, and they just.
And what was that young man's name last night? I couldn't remember.
Kelly?
Jack somebody.
Jack Kelly.
Okay.
He's a local.
I can see he's
kid.
going to be somebody who's
He
going
is
to
going to be somebody special, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got natural
fantastic.
charisma, and I like to give someone local a chance.
Sure.
Last year was Brian Saint, who did a fantastic job, and this year Jack. Jack's only 20. Yeah, he can't drink yet.
Can't drink yet.
And kind of wise beyond his years, understands his brand. It was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Well, again, start to finish, this whole weekend was great. So as we close, tell me, do we have the dates for next year?
We do.
It's always the first weekend of November.
Janet, kill time.
Whenever it's
have
the
the time
change. Yes, it's the time change because it gives us an extra hour.
You get an extra hour
Well,
tomorrow.
what it really is, even though I say that, it's really the first full Thursday, Friday, Saturday in November, right?
Okay, yep.
So that's the 7th, 8th, and 9th, because next year Halloween is on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So can't really, there's people with families, and
I
that
see.
would, So next year is 7th, 8th, and 9th of November.
There we go.
Yep.
And so we go to the website, then again to...
In February, it will be updated, and registration always opens.
TRICS.com, or what is the...
It's TRICS, TRICS, convention.com.
There we go.
Yep.
And register in February.
And don't
miss it.
Nope, don't miss it.
That sounds
we have
fun.
a lot of cool stuff planned.
Very good.
Right.
Congratulations, Janet, Scott, Robinson. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Scott.
It was wonderful. See you next year, and also some other conventions between now and then.
Yeah,
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
So for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Scott and Janet Robinson. And I think that's a wrap for this year. Until next time, Scotty out.